Julia, let's go from here. Mom, I'm 17 now. You didn't have to come. I don't want to hear it, Julia. Mom, I have to go to the bathroom. Julia, you stay here. I'll be right back. Richie, are you done? No. Oh, it's my time to go. Julia? Julia? Julia! 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 I know it was him. He's been after my daughter. It wasn't me. You liar. You know where my daughter is. What did you do to her? Mrs. Halen, I love Julia. I could never harm her. Don't take my daughter's name with your mouth. Officers, I really don't know. Julia and I planned to meet at the carnival, but her mother came along, and when I went to look for her, she wasn't there anymore. Neither her mother nor Ethan knew what happened. But the police knew what was really going on. Every year, one person vanishes from the small town of Oak Grove on the night of Halloween. And this is how it has been for the past 7 years. There is no explanation to how it happens, or even any clue. No bodies were ever discovered, nor were any traces found. And this year, it was 17-year-old Julia Halen. The BIIPD led a search around town, but found no lead whatsoever, just as the years before. Most of these cases were often of teenagers around the age 15 to 17. And the most logical conclusion the police came to was that they must have run away. Besides, the cases being that of only one person a year, the department didn't give the incident too much significance and eventually put off the search. Like many others, Julia Halen was never found. It has been a year since Ethan last saw his girlfriend Julia, but he has never been able to forget her. Her mother blames him, but he knows there has to be something more to her disappearance. If she were to run away, as the police claim, she would have ran away with him. Ethan knew Julia didn't run away. Something must have happened to her that night. And now, Ethan has joined the law enforcement. He is an officer himself and is determined to get to the bottom of this. After joining the department, Ethan was surprised to discover Julia wasn't the only person. But every Halloween, someone vanishes in Oak Grove. And out of all these incidents, About 5 years ago, one girl, Lisa Collins, claimed she was taken by a mysterious man. However, at the time, no one believed her. Lisa Collins still lived in Oak Grove, now married with children herself. Investigating the strange case, Ethan went to visit her. Tell me what happened that night. I was 15. Like every year, I went to the annual Halloween Carnival, and I saw a man wearing a scarecrow mask, showing some tricks with his cards. Like everyone else I went to watch, I was amazed by his illusions. But I don't know what happened after that. I started to feel strange. Oh, it's time to go. And the next thing I realized, I was walking in the woods by the railroad, following the man with the scarecrow mask. But that night, I happened to step on something. And when I injured my feet, I came to my senses. I was afraid. I didn't know how I got there or where I was, or who was that man. All I could think of was running. And that's what I did. After hearing out the woman's story, Ethan went to the woods by the railroad and inspected the area. But there was nothing there that could indicate anything. It was deserted. No one came here, and there was no sign of anyone having been here. The only way I'll find out is on the night. This year, Ethan has managed to convince a few of his buddies, who are fellow officers, to help him solve this case, to find out what happened with Julia. On the night of Halloween, they posted themselves around the carnival. Ethan had done background checks on each and every vendor that had opened stalls, circling an open area by the woods. As always, there were some local vendors and some vendors who had come from out of town. That's my costume. Your costume? This is my town, and I'm the only Joker here. We'll see about that. As the Jokers began to bicker, people began to huddle around to watch the show. How do you know if a vampire has a cold? It's always coughing. That was stupid. I'll tell you guys. Who did Frankenstein go trick-or-treating with? His ghoul friend. That wasn't funny, punk. Stop trying to take the spotlight. Tonight is my night. Let the people choose who they like better, loser. Who you calling a loser? As the fight got intense, everyone cheered them on. Ethan scanned the area, looking at the other stalls. Suddenly, there was a scream from the crowds. Where's my daughter? My daughter! Emily! Emily! Ethan rushed to search for the woman, realizing what had happened. Inspect the entire carnival. A girl has gone missing. Ethan yelled into his radio, alerting the others. Before he ran to his bike and drove towards the woods. Reaching there, everything was dark and quiet. but Ethan got off and continued on foot towards the railroad. "Where are you?" Shining his flashlight in each and every direction, Ethan suddenly heard a rustle. Turning around, he noticed a man in a bunny mask walking off as the girl followed him. Ethan yelled out, "Hey, stop! Stop! Put your hands up!" As Ethan ran towards them, the man with the bunny mask turned around and stood still. Ethan cautiously neared him. "Let the girl go." Suddenly, the man chuckled. Before he took out a gun.
Bye-bye.
Ethan stood at gunpoint, trying to think of a way out, but it seemed it was too late. With the trigger came out bubbles, but as Ethan was caught off guard, a real bullet fired and pierced through his shoulder. As the gunshot rang in the air, the girl stumbled back, coming to her senses. "Where am I? What is happening?" She was horrified seeing Ethan fall to the ground, bleeding out. "Run!" Ethan yelled at her. But as she escaped from there, the man with the bunny mask walked towards Ethan.
Time's over, time's over, time's over.
As the man with the bunny mask held the gun at his forehead, Ethan knew it was now or never. Fighting through the pain, he lifted a rock with his hand and hit him on his head, knocking him out. Struggling to get up, Ethan went to him. "Now your game is over." He took hold of the mask and pulled it off. But upon seeing the person behind it, he couldn't believe. Julia? Almost 20 years ago, there was a circus in Oak Grove that was run by ringmaster Thomas Lockhart. The circus was very popular, especially for its young crew and the dangerous stunts they performed. And Lockhart himself was known for his amazing performances with lions and tigers. Lockhart would train his young performers, all around the ages of 13 to 17, but he was very strict, and sometimes even abusive. "Go! Walk along the line! What are you waiting for?" I'm scared. I don't have all night. If you fall, you're mincemeat. Now go!" "Please, Mr. Lockhart, just one more minute. Just one more minute. I'll throw you in the cage myself." "Mr. Lockhart!" It was one evening when Mr. Lockhart was training one of his workers, Isabella, to perform a dangerous stunt. Another one of his workers, Oliver, was watching them. He could see how scared Isabella was to perform with wild beasts. Oliver was a great performer himself, and deep down inside, he was in love with Isabella. And when he saw Lockhart mistreating her, he couldn't take it. But what was there he could possibly do? But it it was on another night. Oliver got his opportunity. While Lockhart was feeding the lions, Oliver went on the excuse of helping him and threw him inside the cage. "What are you doing? Let me get out of here and see what I do." Ignoring all of Lockhart's curses, Oliver removed the buckets of food and left him in the cage with the hungry beasts. After the death of Thomas Lockhart, the circus shut down and all his workers left to make their own living elsewhere. Oliver and Isabella stayed in town and got by doing odd jobs. And eventually they got married. Life was beautiful for them. And soon they had a son, Kevin. But it was the year when Kevin turned 10, and Oliver and Isabella brought him to the Halloween Carnival. Something strange happened. The couple saw a man dressed in a similar costume as Lockhart, wearing the same jackal mask he used to. Doesn't he look like... Don't take his name. Let's go, Kevin. Oliver took Kevin around to all the games and stalls. But Kevin couldn't forget the trick the man in the jackal mask was showing. And just when his parents were occupied, he secretly went to the jackal man to see his performance. "Wow, you look just like your dad." The man took out a coin out of his pocket and threw it at him. When Kevin caught it, the man chuckled. "And you have your mother's reflexes." That night, the man took Kevin with him, and that was the beginning of these strange happenings. Staring at his girlfriend laying lifeless, Kevin was in shock. It was her the whole time? She was doing this? She was abducting all these teens? No. How can this be? This doesn't make any sense. Where was she all this time? That year, no one went missing from Oak Grove. But Ethan still wonders what happened, and if this strange happening would ever happen again.
Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.